Okay, so whenever someone feels the need to remake a classic movie, I just go, why? If you want to remake a bad movie, go right ahead, no problem. If you want to remake an average, okay movie, do it. Why not? If you want to remake a classic, like Papillon, you need a pretty good reason. Either you need to be a goddamn certified genius, or you gotta find a new angle to the whole thing. You know, take something old and make something new. Put a spin on it. And I just watched the original Papillon, maybe 6 months ago, and I loved it. I thought it was great. It's 2.5 hours and worth every second. In fact, the character of Papillon might be one of my favorite characters in a movie ever. He's such a simple character with clear values and motivations. So when I realized they were making this, I had my doubts about it being as good as the original one. But you know, I figured maybe they would find a new way of telling the same story. Well, they didn't. It's basically the same movie with a few things changed here and there. Mostly details. But some major parts too, like the very end. And they cut out one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie. It's just a tiny little exchange between Papillon and another inmate. It wouldn't have added much to the runtime, but it's just a great little scene. Anyway, that's not in this. And the end isn't nearly as poignant as the original one. And the whole last part felt kinda rushed, like they just wanted to wrap it up. But what's the movie even about? It's about two French guys who are sent to a prison camp in South America. Papillon and Louis Dega. And I like Charlie Hunnam and Rami Malek, aka Mr. Robot. But the unfortunate truth is, they're no Steve McQueen and Dustin Hoffman. They're good in this, but they're not great. And I feel like that's basically the theme of the whole movie. Everything's kind of fine, but nothing's all that great. Nothing really stood out. But the story is still good. It's essentially about a guy with an unbreakable spirit. And for a guy like him, staying in prison is not even an option. Like, he's planning an escape before they even get there. But the story is also about friendship. And that's where the other guy comes in. And he's really not a hardened criminal. He's just a forger. Kind of a bookish guy, but a good, dependable guy. And these two figure that they probably gotta stick together if they wanna make it out. And I'll be honest, the story basically does a lot of the heavy lifting. It's kinda hard to ruin a good story like this. But yeah, the movie doesn't really do it justice either. I mean, it's not a bad movie. It's very much fine. But with a remake like this, it all boils down to, if you feel like watching a movie called Papillon and you want to see this story, there's literally no reason to watch this one over the original one. There's just not. I really can't think of a single thing that's actually better in this version. Maybe the boat sequence. The boat sequence was pretty good, but the rest of it, not so much. So I mean, what purpose does this movie serve? Why does it even exist? Who thought remaking this would be a good idea? It's not like it's a hot, marketable title that's gonna make a bunch of money. So I'm not really sure what to make of it. But again, it's not a bad movie. It's perfectly fine. And a really good story. But there's just no reason to watch it when the older version is so much better. Had they updated it in some way, like put a spin on it, something, anything, it might have been worth the time. I don't know. And you think I'm joking, and I sorta am. But at least the female remake would have done something different. I mean, put it in space for all I care. If you have to remake it, do something different with it. But no, it's exactly the same movie, done slightly worse. Which again leaves me with the question, why? Why? Would I recommend it? No. I'd recommend you go watch the original movie. That one's fantastic. This one, not so much. So skip it. Or don't. I'm not your puppy.